Salutare, aici Adrian și începem E3-ul de anul ăsta. Se pare că acum câteva secunde a început la ora 19, ora Angliei, asta înseamnă 20 la ora 9, ora României. Și să vedem, prima conferință se pare că se va ține de către EA, Electronic Arts. Și va ține, dacă nu mă înșel, 4 ore sau 3 ore jumate, nu știu sigur. Chiar în aceste secunde a intrat live streaming-ul. Îl puteți urmări pe site-ul de la IGN. Momentan avem diferite trailere a viitoarelor jocuri. Și bănuiesc că în curând va apărea și conferința de la E3 alături de EA. Da, am primit și notificările. După cum se vede, live chat-ul pur și simplu a explodat. Haideți să vedem ce au de zis.
Welcome to IGN Live at E3 2017. I'm David Hatfield, and we're coming to you from Los Angeles, where in just a bit, Electronic Arts will kick off E3 with its press conference. This week, IGN has over 40 hours of live coverage. We'll be at every press conference and on the show floor for 3 days of game demos, interviews, all the latest news, and whatever else comes up. It's E3, so you never know what's going to happen. No matter where you are or what you're doing, you can be part of the action. Get access to IGN Live on your computer, your phone, your console. We're on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and even black and white TVs and seedy hotels. We've also partnered with Twitter for the E3 2017 global live stream. We've officially taken over the internet. It's all hands on deck here at E3, and the IGN crew is here to help me do some of the talking because I can't do this alone. Joining me right now, Max Scoville, Brian Altano, Alana Pierce, lady and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to
the
E3.
Yeah. How many E3s is this for us? For everyone?
9, 8,
I don't know,
something.
a lot.
A bunch.
I mean, yeah, IGN's been to all but one, if not all of them.
Yeah.
This is my 11th with E3, 13th overall. So
Ceea ce este un record.
this is going to be an exciting week. So settle in. We've got a lot to cover over the next half hour, including everything you need to know about the most powerful console ever made, the long-awaited Xbox One Scorpio. Plus, we'll talk Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch and break down everything we expect from Sony's press conference, like probably getting really depressed during The Last of Us 2.
Later,
And that's only
Sony.
the beginning. Our EA pre-show kicks off at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, and then tomorrow we'll be back at 1 p.m. with more coverage, which includes the Microsoft and Bethesda press events. Okay. Let's get this underway. Probably the biggest thing we expect to see a whole lot of this week is the super-powered Xbox One revision Scorpio. Give me your thoughts. How much is this thing going to cost?
I think it's going to cost around $499.
Yeah.
They keep saying they want premium pricing, so they want it to be a more expensive console. I don't know how that's going to work with the PS Pro being a little bit cheaper or where that puts them in the overall console race, but we're expecting the conference to open with it, or at least I am. I think the first thing they're going to show is the way the console actually looks, and I'm really excited to see it.
I totally agree with you there. I think the price is incredibly important, but also distancing it from the Pro is important. By the time this thing comes out, which we assume or definitely know is going to be this fall, right? The PS4 Pro will be out for a year already. We'll probably see a price drop for it. This really has to cement itself as something that's incredibly powerful and really, really worth your money.
Yeah, Microsoft's been kind of weird this generation. Obviously, the Xbox One launched at a much higher price point than everyone was kind of expecting. But at the same time, they're really leaning into the fact this being the best, the most powerful console. So if they go a little bit higher, I almost think that kind of makes sense, you know? Like, it's sort of a designer console. I could be crazy here. One thing I'm just really curious about, if they're going to actually call it the Xbox One Scorpio.
Yeah, I want to ask about that.
There's going to be a brand new name. It's interesting because I feel like they've gotten all of the very technical stuff out of the way, all the teraflops. They've talked about, like, developer diaries and the really technical things. I want the dumb sizzle fun stuff. Like, I want to be blown away by, like, here's what it could do, you know, in your face. Like,
I think we have definitely not heard the last of the teraflop. The teraflop is coming back hard during their press conference. I'm guessing if you make a drinking game out of it, which you shouldn't because it starts in the morning, that's going to be a rough afternoon for you.
Surely we'll also get the release date, which there are some rumors, some inkling that it could be October 13th. There's a little teaser in some videos that Microsoft has released.
It's what, between like October 29th and November 17th or something is the Scorpio zodiac cycle?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be kind of weird
Yes,
if you're
I'm
like,
told
that's
that's
coming out in
correct, yes.
January of 2018. You're like, what? Why
Yeah,
would you-
I think later this year makes sense, and I think we'll probably either get Crackdown or Forza Motorsport 7 alongside it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Crackdown, let's talk about that. It's been a couple years since we've seen Crackdown 3.
Prețul mi se pare puțin cam ridicat, fiindcă dacă stăm să ne gândim cu încă câteva sute, poate 200-300 în plus, putem cumpăra un calculator destul de puternic, așa că următoarele generații de console nu cred că se va mai merita decât pentru, eu știu, titluri exclusive probabil, dar în rest, diferența între un PC performant și o consolă nu va fi una mare când vine vorba de buget.
But this is a big flagship title for Microsoft. It's an exclusive. We saw Scalebound go away this year, which was
Crackdown îmi amintește de
I think it's important to have a game like
Red
this.
Faction,
And if this can really show off how
mai ales
powerful
Guerrilla,
the Scorpio
pentru că
is,
puteai să
then
dărâmi
yeah, make it a
toate
flagship launch
clădirile.
title.
It pretty much
Sau
has to
chiar
come
și
out this year,
Armageddon.
and I think Sea of Thieves and Forza should as well. We have no idea yet, so I guess
Right.
we'll find out. But yeah, we haven't seen Crackdown in a really long time. Some people got to play it at Gamescom like 3 years ago. So I feel like it's going to be a completely different game this
Yeah.
E3 than what we've seen in the past.
Max, what's your read on Crackdown?
I mean, it's one of those things where I kind of stopped getting too excited about it because they kept us hanging for too long.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a bummer when that happens. I want to see what they do. I want to be, you know, blown away. I think the destructible environment stuff is really cool. The cloud computing has always seemed sort of like proof of concept rather than an actual mechanic or anything. I'd like to see what this does differently to set it apart from the massive amount of open world games we've gotten over the past few years.
I mean, it's kind of similar to Prototype or Infamous or even Saints Row 4, and those games have all kind of been gone for a while. So I'm happy to just jump and glide around the city, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, the other platforms have their exclusive open world games, Horizon and Zelda. This could be that for Xbox Scorpio, hopefully, but all we've seen so far is just this one urban environment, the city environment, right? So I'd like to see a little bit more variation in like where we're going to be running around.
You want to wreck a forest.
I want to just burn it to the ground. Another game we're likely to see, possibly at the Xbox conference tomorrow, is Middle-earth: Shadow of War, which was the first title announced with full Scorpio support. That game, its release date is now October 10th.
Middle-earth este un titlu care abia l-aștept și eu, mai ales fiind unul dintre jocurile foarte așteptate și unul dintre titlurile foarte mari. Și se pare că arată foarte bine, cel puțin din imaginile pe care le avem momentan.
So complex under the hood. It was a really good game, obviously, just to play, but that's one of those systems we kept expecting to show up in more and more places, and I'm excited to see what they do with more power. Like, if they've got... It's going to be cool to see this game looking gorgeous and beautiful with, you know, realistic trees and orcs and slime and all that, but does this mean we're going to have more complex nemesis or just smarter AI? Like, I want to see, you know, the Scorpio kind of coupled with something that is both visually impressive but also mechanically has something interesting going on.
Yeah. And Brian, you're a big Lord of the Rings fan.
The biggest Lord of the Rings fan at IGN. No, actually, I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan at all. I'm more of a Star Wars guy. I know you can love both, but I did love Shadow of Mordor because by skipping the cutscenes, I just had a badass action game where you could ride weird nightmare dogs and throw bees at people, which everybody needs.
Yeah.
Also,
did you play the first game?
Yeah, and I loved it. I love the combination of Batman Arkham Combat, which is some of my favorite melee combat in anything, and then sort of Assassin's Creed climbing, and having that
pentru
in
că e jocul celor
a
de
Lord of the
la
Rings lore.
Warner
I
Bros.
really like that
și
game, and if
asemănările
they expand on it by making it slightly
vizibile.
prettier and a little more colorful, I think is one thing it'll really benefit from. The first game was pretty bleak. I mean, it was Mordor, but still. So I'm excited to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was bleak and a little monotone, too. There wasn't a lot of variation in the environment, so yeah, hopefully they can take us to a few more different locales.
There's a lot of wet mud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The orcs love the mud. They roll around in there. It's very nice.
Where they came
Their
from.
skin.
Yeah.
Also, after a year, taking a year off, after a number of leaks, also, Assassin's Creed is returning. Ubisoft has said that Assassin's Creed will be here at E3, even though they haven't officially unveiled it yet. I wonder if it will be unveiled at the Microsoft conference.
I think it'll be unveiled before, because everything about this game has leaked so far.
Yeah.
I think the entire video presentation will leak. No, this is a good time for
Nu
Assassin's
joc
Creed to
cu
return.
asasinii,
It's
nu știu
taken
ce
some
să
time
zic.
off. I think people, even
Lasă
the
de
biggest
dorit
fans
până
of the
acum.
series, sort of felt a little bit of fatigue where that was going. You know, year after year of kind of this sort of samey feeling with minor advancements and improvements here and there. But what I really want to see is a game that looks just decidedly different than what we've seen in the past.
Sure.
I want to move away from the Animus. I want to move away from Desmond. I want to start a brand new story, and I want to slide down an Egyptian pyramid.
And we should let people know this is, of course, Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Syndicate that we're seeing here.
Yep.
One of the few things that hasn't leaked about the
Asta
next
am vrut să
Assassin's Creed
zic,
is actually gameplay footage.
Yeah,
Gameplay-ul din ce
We've
joc
seen
este pentru
screens,
semăna cu
logo,
Syndicate.
pre-order
T-shirt,
bonuses, T-shirt, magazine
Gift
covers,
cards.
Pre-order bonuses.
theme songs.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. At this rate, I feel like it's going to just get projected on the side of the convention center, and Ubisoft's going to be like, rats, out of the bag. I'm really excited about this because, again, Assassin's Creed is one of those series that it's almost like crumbled under its own weight. Like you had the first 5 games were telling one story, pretty much. I mean, with Desmond and everything.
Story, yeah.
And if this is sort of a chance for them to almost like soft reboot it, and I think Origins is kind of Origins. Do we know that? I don't. Anyway.
Yeah, I
I think it's Origins.
Okay.
plural?
Yeah.
I think
plural,
that's a good chance to be like, hey, this is another jumping on point. This is the beginning of a story, and it's also they've had 2 years to work on it, so hopefully there's something really cool there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I was a hardcore Assassin's Creed fan at the start. I even liked Assassin's Creed 1. Not a lot of people did. But then I stopped playing after Unity so I didn't play Syndicate or Rogue because I just kind of got fatigued like a lot of people did. So for them to get me back in this year, I was thinking this year on Extra I might jump back into Assassin's Creed game. They have to show me something very different. Like you said, I want to see changes to gameplay. Things that I'm not expecting.
What do we think about the Egyptian setting?
I love it.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they've been kind of having this as like an ace up their sleeve. Obviously, there are these kind of archetypal things that everyone learns about in school and everyone sort of loves, and it's pirates and Egypt and knights and I guess the French Revolution. But to have Egypt up there and be like, okay, here it is. I mean, a pyramid looks like the Assassin's Creed logo. It totally fits.
I want Japan next year.
Me too. When you think of the Assassin's Creed games, you look at these big sprawling cities, but secretly they've also been about like temples and dungeons and secret areas, and I think Egypt is really ripe for stuff like that.
For sure. And of course, from Nintendo, we definitely want to hear more about Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. This is my personal most anticipated game of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cool thing is that we know for sure it's going to be here.
Partea asta nu mă interesează foarte mult. Nu sunt adeptul jocurilor Mario.
For you to have a bad E3, because that's there. That's happening.
Yeah, we're
gonna get to travel to New Donk City for the first time in our human lives, where we can answer all these questions like, why does Mario live in the same city as these human men?
I don't want to talk about it.
And the car. I have a lot of questions, but yeah, I mean, Mario is one of the greatest franchises of all time. I felt some sort of sameness with the last few 2D games, and 3D World and 3D Land were really fun, but I want that open world Mario again. It looks like we're getting it back. I'm interested to see what the hub world looks like, if this game will have multiplayer, and just the sort of diversity in how crazy the level design can get.
That's what I really want to see more of, is more different levels, because, you know, thinking about, I spent a ton of time as a kid playing Super Mario 64, and jumping through something and getting something you never would have expected. And that's what I want, that feeling again of just, you jump through a painting and then you're in a completely different world. They're all totally diverse. I want to see more examples of those than we've seen in this first trailer.
I wonder what this game's versions of paintings are. Like that gave you sort of a narrative excuse to jump into, you know, a candy-colored polygon level, and then from there head back to Spain or wherever he was back there.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a clip of him sort of getting on this thing. Of him flying somewhere from New Donk City. Does he just fly everywhere?
I think it's a top hat.
Well, so
I have so many questions.
Apparently, Nintendo's booth on the show floor is decked out entirely in New Donk City, much like it was for Hyrule last year. So I wonder, do you think New Donk City is like the hub world?
I hope so. As a former New Yorker, I want to spend as much time.
Jump into different manholes.
I'll know exactly how to. Yeah, that's the best way to get around New York is the manholes.
I'm really excited about just the moment-to-moment of the gameplay. Like, obviously, I think Nintendo they took a breather with Breath of the Wild.
Pe parcursul live-ului, bineînțeles că voi avea nevoie de diferite pauze. Voi încerca să întrerup filmulețele unde nu are prea multă importanță sau, la un moment dat, poate voi pune pe... Da, puțin mai încet, că poate e enervant. Poate voi pune live-ul chiar pe pauză și pur și simplu voi derula cu câteva secunde sau minute în urmă și nu se va pierde nimic. Voi trebui să mă gândesc pe parcurs la lucrul ăsta, pentru că încă nu știu cum să fac. În orice caz, mă orientez filmulețele să fie undeva între 15 și 20 de minute maxim. Și ne apropiem de momentul cu 15.
Their job at E3 is to keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
If you look at Sony, there's questions about what they do next and what Microsoft does next.
Bineînțeles, voi la diferite pauze în care voi lăsa înregistrarea mai departe și veți avea parte de toată înregistrarea completă, dar va trebui să pun microfonul pe mut din diferite motive și să continuăm. Momentan avem mici prezentări.
I don't know if we'll get anything specific in terms of release date. I would hope for a window, at least a year.
Yeah.
But there are people saying we might get this game this year.